do.
Ah,
Fucking knew it. I fucking knew it as
We're
soon as you started
live. We're live.
to it. What up, everybody? It's your boy Marco from West End Studios. It is What the Fuck Wednesday. And we were just proving the point that Big Brother got their dick in your ear constantly, whether you're fucking going live or not. We just proved the fucking point, dude. I was just talking to Greg about what we were. Look, and now I switched to a total different internet. This goes out again, and it's gonna be fucked up. Like I ain't even running.
it's already fucked up.
I'm running a mobile hotspot that I usually take with me for DJing and shit.
Okay. You have to.
Pillow Princess.
Pillow. Who the hell's Pillow Princess? Jesus
It's
Christ.
Heather.
Oh, hey Heather. That just doesn't. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! As soon as you started talking, we started talking about the Maui fires.
Yeah.
So might as well start off with the fucking Maui fires. What's up, Lorianne?
Might as well.
So Maui is on fire right now. Like the worst case of chlamydia you could ever have in your life. And everybody's nobody's saying the origins of the fires or how the fire started. And earlier I was watching the news, whatever the fuck you want to call these shows. You can't even call them news anymore. Just somebody talking shit.
Yeah.
But they showed a map, first of all, of where these fires are located. And they're pretty fucking strategic. I mean, it's in a triangle, dude. It's triangulated to burn into a certain area. I don't know, I've heard a few people, the conspiracy buffs, start talking about it here and there. But until I saw that map, man, it's pretty odd. And then, a buddy of mine, Big Grape from the Grapevine, he was talking about how he heard through some research that some companies were trying to buy up a lot of the land out in Maui before the fire, and that Maui was supposed to become the first smart island, city, whatever the fuck you want to call. All AI ran and shit.
And right now, people are being contacted to say, hey, now that your house is burned down, because right now, so Maui is burned. It's gone, right? It's just all melted. Cars in the streets, just husks, like everything is done. It's all been charred. So, but people who are now seeking shelter and just trying to, survive are being contacted and said, hey, I'll buy your house from you.
$700. For $700. $700 fucking dollars. What kind of kick in the dick is that, dude? I mean, that is Joe Biden's fucking big fucking wrinkly balls smacking you right in the face.
It's called Bidenomics. It's the greatest thing since Ragenomics, buddy.
Oh my god, dude! When I seen the $700 thing, I'm like, oh no, the fuck he didn't.
I also yeah, go ahead.
So the conspiracy is, or the talk that will inevitably be true,
allegedly,
is that they wanted to turn the island into this big smart island or whatever, all AI ran,
15-minute city,
first of its kind,
right?
And in order for them to do that, just logically, you live in Maui, you got your house in Maui, you ain't giving up your house in Maui.
No.
So how you get rid of the people in Maui? The same way you got rid of the people for that rail line con that they did in California. Yeah. They started fire.
How convenient. It's right where we need to put stuff. Oh, man.
It's no demolition. You don't have to pay for demolition. You don't have to go through that whole eminent domain bullshit. And you can blame it on climate change.
For pennies on the dollar. Okay.
Now, there's another theory, though. There's another theory. Because we've all seen like these odd catastrophes happening all over America, especially in this past year.
Yeah.
There is talks that might have been a direct energy weapon that was a military attack on us, and Joe's the media, the Biden administration, whoever the powers that be are trying to sweep it under the rug because there's a lot of talk about shadinesses with NATO.
Well, let's be honest. The people in charge are not Team Biden. Okay, Biden's organization is not the team that's in charge. However, I did actually send some pictures to Greg. What up, Greg? To that actually show there were some, let's call it unusual light in Maui. This is just before what happened. I'm just saying, I know they have something like that in Vegas and shoots a light right up into the sky. It doesn't have as much smoke, but maybe that's just new technology. So
now here's something odd that you say that with Vegas. So the guy running shit down in Maui right now, the head of the authorities down there, whatever.
It's like the land is gone.
He is the same chief of police who was the chief of police in Vegas when the mass shooting happened. Remember Mandalay Bay?
Yeah, well, that was done by a
swept
guy
right up under the rug.
And do you remember that guy? They're like, oh, he must have carried around like 900 pounds worth of weapons and bullets up the stairs.
The bullets alone, they had to have had like I think they said they needed like 3 sets, like so 6 people just to carry these things out.
Right.
This was an old man, an old lady, and what, 3 dogs or 2 dogs?
Captain America. He's Captain America. That's his name. Okay, he is by far the most powerful, and he carried it all himself. Avoided
America, his mighty shield.
Hey, he avoided all the cameras. No one saw him. He went up the stairs, even though the stairs aren't accessible by normal people. Okay, so he went from his car carrying hundreds of pounds of weaponry, and
Vegas has more, and well, we know this is a fact now. Vegas has more cameras than the White House. They will find out whose bag of coke that was.
No. It was flour, and it was someone baking a cake. Okay?
Oh, no. It was cocaine. And you know, the Secret Service, somebody leaked it out from the Secret Service and said the Bidens know who it belonged to.
How can you imagine?
Honestly, again, I don't believe that it could have belonged to any of the Bidens. I'm almost guaranteeing that is a throwaway. So if somebody got in trouble, they could get it was Kamala. Or you can't trust that Secret Service person because we found dope on him. Or you can't trust this person. Because just think about it. I said this 1,000 times. If you were Hunter Biden or Ashley Biden or anybody with the last name Biden, you got you a lot more dope than a dime bag.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even when I messed with it, what the fuck is a dime bag? I don't even know what a dime bag of dope is. like you know,
maybe before you restock. You're like, oh yeah, this is all I got left. And then I gotta go.
No, the bag, because at first they showed the bag. You know, them pictures of the bag are all gone, but they showed pictures of the fucking bag. I mean, like,
yeah, but if they didn't have cameras, how do they there's too many. So there's
exactly.
Can you imagine?
They got pictures of the bag.
Do you imagine taking an oath where you're like, you have to protect the president and and they're like, this fucking guy. I'm not fucking. This fucking guy? Nah, come on. I'm like, I'll push him out of the way, but I'm not fucking taking a bullet for that twat. All right,
that's like saying OPW ain't never did rails in the fucking White House.
Oh, come on. Listen, that's even now, though, we know for a fact that the reason World War II happened was that every single army was on varying concoctions of speed. That's what they were on, okay? Every one of
Everybody was looking for that super soldier shit.
No. Everyone was doped up on speed and fucking methamphetamines, okay? That's what was going on. And they're like, yes, it's called Panzer chocolate. It makes you go like it's a super, the Ubermensch, okay? You're the Uberman, Uber warrior, and you will take over all of the Europe, okay?
The Russians and shit, when they used to just
run. Here. Take the meth or get shot in the fucking face. Pick one. You're like, I take the meth. This is good for me. I like it. I don't like the winter. I go to Germany. I kill Hitler. You know? That's
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
bat could
hear
definitely be better than a bullet in the face. That's for sure.
Like most likely, right?
you know what's the newest disinformation and misinformation thing is they brought back. Now there's no biolabs in the Ukraine.
Oh no.
That's a lie again.
They're research facilities, I believe this is the term. And you're like, listen, friend. There was a research facility in Wuhan.
They did
They researched
shows
something
on it. There was
very
people walking
specific.
through it.
Very specific. Thank you. It's like this is the thing is it's bad enough that they lie, but then it's like you're caught red-handed, and then you're like, well, technically, it's actually not a biolab, it's a research facility. And you're like, just why do you make it seem like we're retarded? Because you're clearly retarded. Okay, it's just
They
it's
did the same
unreasonable.
thing with the fucking the COVID, dude. They get it.
Listen, that's
the Jap slap.
Was in Japan, so that's see. This is why we need a better quality of racism in this country. Okay, that's what we need, okay, it needs to be accurate. That's like, listen, if you're gonna do an impression,
No,
it's got to be perfect.
look,
if you're not gonna do the right impression, just shut your mouth. That's just how it works.
Racial slur isn't technically that color or that race.
Oh yeah,
What
you can't
the
be racist anymore. It's what is it? Is Japanese or
You know how many
Asians
times
are
I've been
no
called
longer
a
minority?
wetback, and I ain't a wetback. I'm a spick.
Yeah, but you give off mad wetback vibes. Like you're like that guy. Definitely did not come here legally, right? And you're like, no, I'm American. They're like, yeah, but you're like, your mom came in and she was already.
I got the
knocked
app,
out, right?
SA. I got the app.
Oh,
Dude, did you see that? What?
Yeah, they
Speaking
rushed
of
the
that,
border, right?
Did you
Yeah.
see the cartels took control of the app? They hacked the app.
Oh, that's delicious. That only makes sense though, right? Like, listen, everyone who actually is worth their weight in gold, which is a lot of people, right? They're like, okay, what, I'm gonna go work for the government? Fuck that. For patriotic reasons with fucko in the White House, can't eat shit. Okay, it's like, yeah,
Dude, the
for
president
sale.
of Mexico already said that he was fucking in league with the cartels. He was working with the cartels.
Yeah, that's how he gets paid in real dollars. Okay. Otherwise, he's like, I only get pesos. It's no good. I can't afford that in my lifestyle.
Fuck no, they became part of that new, what is that, brick, whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, with every country that's not stable in any way, shape, or form, they're like, yeah, you could trust us. You're like, okay, I'll do that. Listen, the only reason why the United States of America has been the reliable currency is because their land has not been infiltrated by war, right? The problem is that now people are looking for an option because you're so close to 250 years, right? I understand the logic behind it. The problem is that instead of actually saying, hey, maybe we could, I don't know, fucking do something right. No. Abandon ship, start something else new. And you're like, oh, so instead we're going to go China and Russia, the two most notorious bullshit artists in the last 1,000 years. You're like, you know what? Yeah, let's trust those guys with currency. Get fucked. Okay. And that's why everyone else is like, oh yeah, well, they're trustworthy. You're like, I'm sorry, hey, South Africa's in the BRICS. Do you see what's happening in South Africa? Tell you, it is not a good time for some people. Not a good time. And by some people, I mean,
but I mean,
there's
honestly,
a whole
North Africa ain't been having a good time since Jesus. So I mean,
hey, we all know about that. Nobody cares. It's Africa.
And they got that awesome, the biggest in the world e-waste fucking dump. It ain't even a facility; it's a fucking dump.
And for everyone out there who's listening and watching, okay, if you still recycle, just know that your government has screwed everyone so bad because everything you put into recycling, number one, not recyclable. Number two, doesn't get recycled in your country. It gets shipped to another country where they will burn it, bury it, or just drop it into the ocean. And then your country's going, see, we're so good. No, you're the worst. And the fact is that you can actually use that instead of coal. You're like, listen, it's not great, but you can burn that stuff, create energy, funnel it back into the system. Is it great? No. But instead, what do we have? I use Tupperware because it's better. And this one is made out of plastic. It's perfect. Yeah, eat my ass.
While
How
all
about
the
that?
chemicals are leaching into your
Yeah.
food.
Just lick your boxes every time. Just, every time. That's fine. Losers. Bullshit.
Hey, look, I ain't
Maybe a
gonna lie.
little.
There's been plenty of times my grandma used a Tupperware bowl to make cakes, and I done licked the fucking cake out in the batter.
Well, we're not monsters. It's delicious.
Well, that's like, who was it? I think Doug Stanhope, the comedian, he was talking about the whole recycling and the fucking waste and shit. And he said, for everybody who wants to drive their fucking electric cars and do all this green energy, when you see one of them with a fucking baby seat in the back, just fucking just go nuts on them, because a child creates more waste. Just one child creates more waste than you can ever make up in your life, just in plastics alone, in diapers alone.
Well, that's the thing is if you see a somebody who's one of those tree hugging losers, okay, and they use disposable diapers, you're like, oh, veto, you're done. That's it.
The disposable diapers, the bottles, the fucking nipples, the fucking, everything is made out of a rubber, a plastic, a fucking some kind of petroleum something, and they don't want gas anymore.
Anything that's been manufactured out of plastic that wasn't bought secondhand, that's it. You're done. You lose your magic vegan powers. You become normal, just like everybody else. And as well, like, look, that's the real issue is that so often throughout history, like people are trying to make themselves like it's gotten to the point where it's about I want to be recognized and be privileged, and you're like, yeah, but you didn't do anything. All you do is suck wiener. That's not that you're like, yeah, but I'm LGBT. You have to respect
that
me.
is
like,
a great fucking segue. The sucking wieners is a great segue into the new letter that got left out. Greg, did you hear about the new letter that they dug up on Obama to his
No, not
ex?
yet.
Oh yeah, it got
She's
talked
releasing
about
a
like
book.
it
She's
got
releasing a
talked
book,
about
yeah.
one day, and then they kind of trying to sweep it under the rug. But people ain't gonna let this shit die. It's too this validates Larry St. Clair. Fucking Obama, one of Obama's letters to his ex stated something about how he fights with his androsity, some shit like that.
Androgyny.
And that
like yes, but like not as a flex. You do it for I don't want to say why you do it.
He thinks about having sex with men all the time. So
right.
and this is like him. This is his handwriting. This ain't like his brother talking shit. This ain't Trump talking shit. This ain't Joan Rivers had it on the nose. Nobody wants to listen to that bitch, and she's dead.
Oh yeah, she got dead real quick. Right. As soon as she opened her mouth, was like, "Oh, you're going for surgery? Not anymore."
And then after that, it's mighty funny that that kid died a couple weeks before this note come out. His chef, the third chef that then died magically.
How does one go about like there's so many questions with that. And also they're like, "Oh, they weren't there. Oh, they were there."
And he was a wakeboarder.
They left.
They keep trying to defer away from, he was Obama's chef and stuff. A young wakeboarder at Martha's Vineyards. No, bitch, that was Obama's chef, and he ended up in the water, and somebody might have thrown a wakeboard after him.
And then they're like, "Oh, he couldn't swim." Oh, except there's this video of him swimming quite well.
Yeah, and that's a racist statement.
Wow.
I'm surprised nobody threw that at him. Oh my God, I'm surprised nobody threw that at him.
I just feel like, but isn't it like 4 feet of water? So you're like, I don't understand. Like there's everything. The worst part is at least, and this goes out to Hollywood. Hey man, at least make the lie, invest in the lie so it's believable. Don't come up with some bullshit story. Okay. That's just, you're better than that. We're better than that. We deserve to be lied to well. Okay.
I mean, and for the money these people are fucking making, you would think that they would come up with better lies. I mean, something. You got money for props. You got money for gimmicks. I mean, this is just blatant, like, hey, fuck you. It didn't happen even though you were there and you watched it.
Yeah. And then they left. And they're like, well,
You
why
know,
were they allowed to leave? They're like, oh, well, they weren't really there. You're like, no. If they're there, they're witnesses. Are they detained? It's suspicious death. Everybody gets detained. That's how it
oh,
works.
see, now if you're a witness for the wrong person, no matter what, like I thought we were supposed to believe in like FBI, especially whistleblowers. I thought we were supposed to believe in like the IRS whistleblowers, especially the IRS. You know what it takes for somebody in the IRS to be like, hey, wait a minute, something ain't right. You know, you gotta be doing some foul fuck shit. And then
Yeah.
the more and more all this shit comes out, the whistleblowers and stuff, you find out like, wait a minute, what the fuck is the IRS doing damn near military CIA shit for?
Listen, the fact is that income tax itself, which is the whole basis for the Internal Revenue Service, was created as a temporary means to cover the cost of war. And then it just stayed. So, like
everything else.
Well, but that's the whole thing, right? And especially now, even they were saying was how they're like I know in Toronto, we just found out was that for the longest time, right? You put up a sign that there's been a zoning request to change for this area so they could build buildings and all that kind of shit, right? But it has a notice as in there's going to be a town hall meeting. You can come say your piece. You're not going to change anything, but at least you get to say your piece. Now, because of COVID, they're like, oh, the rules changed, so they can just do it because it's done by the province. You don't have a say. It just happens. And you don't get to voice your opinion. You don't get to say anything.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah, a lot of governments, man, and use the COVID shit to pass through a lot of bullshit that's, well, it's there, so we're just going to keep it there.
Well, it was originally meant, we're going to do emergency powers. You're like, okay. They're like, well, not really. We're technically making changes under the guise of emergency powers, but the changes we're making are permanent. And you're like, wait, that's not how that works. And they're just going,
and that emergency powers bullshit is, I think, how, it's kind of thin, but I feel like, especially the way things are rolling, that the Biden administration will have no hesitation in trying it. Right before this election, we're going to go to war. It's going to be an all-out war. There's going to be an attack on our land. I feel it. Now, what's going to happen then is Biden's going to come out with emergency military power.
Sure.
Declare himself that he's going to stay on because we're in the middle of a war and we can't switch over powers in the middle of a war, and you're going to let Donald Trump take care of this and that. And that's how he's going to fucking stay in power, dude.
It's ridiculous that the idea right now, like, there's such a huge divide between Democrat and Republican, right? Like people identify with that primarily. When you're like, how about we just start doing, I'm not crazy or I'm fully retarded, one of the two, just pick one, because you're like, it's clearly like, that's the thing is you're going, see, and like, as an outsider, I personally have never voted because I'm like, I've never seen anyone worth my vote. It's that simple. You're all idiots. It's not, there's anyone who's in politics and you're like, wait, they reelected you? I'm like, I don't believe that you got elected because you're such a dipshit, right? So, and now they're like, the most votes ever to Joe Biden. You're like, what? The fucking grandpa touchy-feely? Really? Okay, sure. You're like, yeah, second most was Trump. You're like, that's not a win, people. The whole thing is garbage. But now but it's like the whole idea behind this all is you're going, none of this makes any sense whatsoever, because look, you hear some of the Republicans, you're going, well, you should be accepting and tolerating people. You're like, okay, good. And then you're like, Democrats are like, you should be tolerant. Okay, I want to be tolerant. You're like, yeah, but you can't tolerate those people. You're like, wait, but you're supposed to be tolerating people. You're like, wait, aren't the Democrats responsible for slavery as well? They're like, that's not the point. It's changed. You're like, I don't think it's changed.
No, it's not.
Then, listen, when you talk to people who are like, Republicans are racist, you're like, okay, have you ever been accosted by a Republican for racial reasons? You're like, no. Then why are you saying they're racist? Because other people who go to Republican events, that happens. And now, listen, don't get me wrong. Some Republicans are full crazy, and you're going, okay, let's calm down, right? Because they're like, oh,
Right,
it's bullshit. And you're going, look, there's no, you're like, you have extremes on both ends, which you're going, that's fine. Let's not listen to either extreme, and let's try and make life make sense. Instead, they're like, no, you have to make your kids gay. You're like, why do I have to make my kids gay? I don't, that's not for voting purposes at all. That doesn't make sense. Very weird.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, I don't understand. But that's why I'm in Canada, in the land of healthcare. Now that that's going away, I'm just going to burn this place to the ground.
Well, see, there's another thing that
Already started.
they're trying to say,
Blame it on the
on the
French.
other end
Yeah.
of the whole presidential thing,
Yeah.
is that a lot of the Democrats, the higher up Democrats, are wanting to get rid of Joe Biden, but they don't want Kamala Harris in there.
Oh,
So-
come on. That's so much worse.
What they're trying to what they're saying they're trying to do is either push Biden to resign or not have a Democratic nominee for whenever they do their main, shit where they all right, this is going to be our nominee. And if that's the instance, if you don't have a nominee, then there's an I forget what it's called, but there's kind of like an emergency, we'll pick somebody.
Yeah.
And two people that are up for grabs are Gavin Newsom and Michelle Obama.
Michael Obama. What a crazy time. That's listen, Gavin Newsom. That guy is a lizard man. There's no, like, that guy's wearing a skin suit. His hair is too perfect.
Michelle Obama's a man.
Michael Obama? Yeah.
I think it's like Michelle, but like you have to say it French.
Mikey.
Like,
Hello, my name is Michelle. You're like,
Michelle.
yeah.
It's Michelle.
Yes, it's Michelle. Michelle Obama, not
And what's going to be
different.
fucked up is the black folks will fucking go right along with it again.
oh, come on. That's like
And,
Oprah. fucking getting on the
everybody
cart.
who don't, anybody who don't subscribe to the Obama Nation is going to be racist again.
yeah. Which he didn't do a lot for black people, eh?
Dude, he
That's
was fucking. Dude, Obama was so bad for black folks. Like he spit in the face of black folks while he ate dinner with them. I mean, it's pretty much the way it went. He not only, kept Biden's fucking 97, 93, whatever fucking 90 crime bill going, he added more to it. And then Kamala Harris talked about it, implementing it, smoking weed, talking about putting black folks in jail for smoking weed.
Listen, I still remember how they're like, oh, she brought Timberlands back. And I'm like, have you never been to Chicago? Because Timberlands are alive and well. That's just good for kicking people in the nuts. That's just why she didn't bring back shit. Also, too, isn't she Indian? What are you talking about? Like, it's not. You're starting to fritz out. Exciting.
You started to fritz out too. Look,
It's not me.
Started getting too deep.
As soon as we start getting, well, my name is.
Start talking about Mikey. That's about as bad as talking about HRC.
Oh, HRC is gonna have us knocking down the door. Come on, they're gonna come up here and be like, "You talked to that Marco fellow? How dare you? How dare you?" I don't know, man.
And look, I got all kind of internet, and it's wanting to like glitch up.
Yeah.
Look, Zuckerberg, we are nobodies. Ain't nobody watching us. We got 3 people fucking watching us. Chill the fuck out.
You'd think that, but no. They're like,
Don't
no.
worry, we're fact checkers.
We're That's why we
we're
got
fact
Greg.
checking everything as we go.
Greg.
That's why we use That's why I'm using the pronouns they and them. They said, them said.
Of course you are, but
yes, you are, Lorianne. You are somebody. You are.
You know what? Like realistically, it bothers me to hell that you're like,
listen, even now, so you know that it's in full effect that they've already started swiping news off of social media here in Canada, which you're like, okay, but now you just got full crazy happening where people are like, you know what happened in the news? You're like, I don't believe you can tell me what happened for your breakfast. I don't think you should be reporting the news. It's just my opinion.
Oh, wait.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus.
Damn, he's right on time tonight too. God damn.
Well done. Look at that.
All right.
That's why we're going to get canceled right there. Duck on duck, sucky fucky action. 100%.
Hey, you know, the
Those
internet
are
ain't
chickens,
glitching now.
sir,
It
and that
glitched
would be
there for a good minute.
profiling.
Oh,
Yeah, those are lesbians. Those are chickens. There's no gobblers on them bitches.
Well, listen, we all know that all chickens are lesbians to a certain degree. That's just factual.
Hey, they all got one hole, whether they're guys or girls.
You guys heard about bonus hole? Which
About
you're
what?
like, that they said that the Legibitiquois said you have to refer to a woman's lady parts as the bonus hole. Yeah, that's a real thing. Just, hey, if you want your internet to be ruined like Marco's, just type in what does bonus hole mean into the Google and watch all your internet
and
stuff.
I'm Latinx. All right, I'm the
Oh.
new X-Men. I'm Latinx. My power is I steal stuff.
You know what the gender neutral term for
So wait a minute.
Latino
Bonus
is?
hole. So then
Yeah.
we got to take back Magic Stick.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm just saying, do you know what the gender neutral term for Latino is?
Uh-oh.
Latino. That's it. That's the word. So Latinx is just you're being an idiot. Also, that's not,
Dude,
it comes
I
from
heard
Latin
it the
and
first
Greek.
time,
Every
like-
language in the goddamn planet is either ancient Greek or Latin or a mixture of the both, or it goes into
you're gonna
Cyrillic
be
and
Grecian
Czech.
X.
Oh,
That's
I would
that sounds
stab
like
you in the
that
face.
shampoo, Grecian X.
Oh, that's all paraffin and forever chemicals. That's how people die, just immediately. That's hey,
Yellow number 4, red dye number 7.
Oh yeah, yellow number 40. Yeah, just gonna ruin your entire brain. Listen. I actually just picked up. You guys have heard of Dr. Squatch? It's like soap and shampoos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's the bonus hole.
No.
Hello, Princess was asking
Yeah,
about the
woman's
bonus
lady
hole.
part is called. Yes, that's it. So, I scanned with my I showed you guys Yuka on my phone, was like it can tell you if something is bad for you or not, if it's got carcinogens or stuff like that. I scanned Head and Shoulders and it was like, oh yeah, that's bad for you. And I was like, what? Head and Shoulders is like the whole thing for you. That's bad. So I got that, and now
It kills dandruff. What the fuck you think that? I mean,
hey, but I'm not.
It can't be good if it's killing something, no matter what.
What if it kills Nazis? Killing Nazis is always good. Okay, let's be honest.
Not if you're a fucking Nazi.
Well, don't be a Nazi there, Marco. Come on. Don't be unreasonable.
I'm just saying, how do we, nobody ever looks at that end. Like, the Nazi people didn't think they were the bad guys. Like, the Germans didn't think they were the bad guys. They're just looking at it like, I don't know why these fucking Americans want to kill. Like, I don't even know the German accent. But
yeah, that's definitely.
I don't know why these Americans are wanting to kill us and the French people are wanting to kill us. The Jewish people are fucking up.
Have you ever met a German person? You're like, oh, I get it. Yeah, you guys are fucking mean. They're just so mean.
I've watched a lot of German
each other.
porn. The chicks are hot.
Yeah, that's why they're fighting. They're like, no, we must keep our women. Okay, it's very important. I must show them I am very manly. Fine, it's understandable.
And they make good watches. Shit, some good cars.
Great cars. Yeah, great engineering. Listen,
yeah.
even in Greece, they were building a bridge, and Greeks were like, "We will build it ourselves," and then it went over budget and delayed, and they're like, "Just hire the Germans; they'll fix it." And that's what they did.
Yeah, the Greek the Greeks are the painters. The Greeks go under bridges and paint the bridges.
Or we make the food. Okay, we make the food. It's fine. It's no problem.
No, the women make the food and then fuck the people when their husbands are out painting the bridges.
It's called multitasking. Okay. Happy Wednesday to you, Megan, as well. It's
up there.
I don't know. It's a very confusing time to be alive. That's for sure. Especially when people are like, "Look at my bonus hole." You're like, "I don't want to see that. That's dirty." Wildly inappropriate.
I was did 2 interviews for 2 different shows. One was G Leone's show, and one was the real Marquand Banks' show. Out in Cleveland. And one question that, I mean, aside from where I started wearing the onesies and shit, the one question that was kind of prevalent, that they asked, and they kind of surprised at my answers to. So I want to see what your thoughts on them are. I'm sure you've seen that fight, the riverboat fight.
Yes.
The
Very enjoyable.
What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, it's tough to say. Number one, surprised there were a lot of swimmers. That was impressive. That was a lot of good swimming. That's nice. That's a move in the right direction. But like, yeah, 2 white guys attacked a security guard. They deserve to get their ass kicked. I don't care. But the fact is, you should have security doing that. It shouldn't just be random people because they're like, oh, it's a black guy, I'll black out. That's stupid. That doesn't make sense, right? But at the same time, like, in all honesty, I just like seeing people get shit kicked out of them, especially when they're like, well, I brought my boys, and they're like, but I brought an entire herd of people. That's always fun, right?
I brought an army.
Because there's a certain amount of testicular fortitude from a guy who's like, oh, I brought my boys, and you're like, number one, you couldn't do anything without your boys. Number one. Number two, and then we're like, but I have more people than you, and then you're like, oh, look, you became a pussy again. I think it's
well, did you see the whole footage, like from the beginning to the end? Like, dude, there's millions of angles in that fucking thing.
Yeah. And realistically,
like
it just becomes...
dude who was the black dude who came down was security, and the guy he was originally arguing with, you know, like they were just having words. It's the second dude came out of nowhere and fucking hit the black dude. And then when the black dude started whooping up on the fucking dude, then the other 2 jumped in. And then, you know, there was the whole hat thing. And then, you know, people started diving in the water and all that shit.
Which is ridiculous. It's like the idea that they came off of the boat to go and swim and help you, you're like, that's retarded. Like that. You're an idiot.
See, the thing, like, there was a couple things that were fucked up, though. There was one chick, and people are laughing their asses about it. She came down there and she was clearly trying to stop the fight and get the fucking people away, you know, stop shit going on.
Sure.
She got hit with the chair.
Good. No, listen,
and
you know what?
Then proceeded to get the guys walked away after the one dude hit her with the chair.
Yeah.
He walked away and 2 chicks walked up on her and just started kicking the shit out of her.
Yeah. That's how that works. Number one, okay. If you don't want this shit kicked out of you, don't get involved.
Stay the fuck out of it.
There you go. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna break it up. No, you're not.
Listen,
you're Superman gonna come in there and just start hanging people up? No. I tell my wife that if shit goes down, I'm gonna give you an exit. You exit, go for help, go somewhere else and go police. Okay. So I like the police, so no problem. But don't stick around when you're gonna help out with your superpowers. No, unless you have an AR-15 in your pocket. Which, listen, she's Asian. She might
would be
fucking
amazing.
It's America. Watch it.
But like, no. Other than that, go get help. Make sure you're safe, because if I have to defend myself and protect you, I'm gonna get hurt really bad. Right? So I'll give you an exit. You go get help from authorities that have big scary guns and that, but make sure you're safe. If I'm gonna help. No, you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you too. That's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's just.
See,
I'm sorry, but if you think about it, the woman went down there to break up like 5 fucking people fighting.
Oh yeah, that's. And let's be honest. How many people actually know how to fight? Not many. So they're just swinging. They're just like retards, and somebody's gonna get hit in the face. That's just No,
that was a deliberate chair to the dome. That was he walked up on her tractor with the chair.
Yeah, well deserved. She's an idiot. There's no.
See, now when I looked at the whole thing, I clearly, I mean, not to sound cliche or nothing, but that was a clear case of fuck around and find out. Now, my problem with the whole thing is the comments and the shit afterward. Because I've seen some of the most racist shit and read some of the most racist shit, and it was all anti-white all this other bullshit. And like, why can't it just be, all right, these assholes were fighting these assholes and a bunch of other assholes came and fucked these assholes up?
Basically, what we just came up with. So you
Right.
have 3 people sitting here with common fucking sense, and the rest of the world it doesn't.
Right.
It's
just,
Hey,
all
maybe
it
we
is
should
is
start
it.
calling it
I
Marconomics.
made the point on
Yeah,
the other
bring back Marconomics.
podcast is that, if they would, the roles were reversed and there
Yep.
was white folks out there with chairs on, and they're showing training videos with chairs and
Yep.
different ways to hit, black
Oh.
folks with chairs. That would be hate crime. Shit would be banned. People would be in jail right now. You would be fucking Facebook banned for life.
That's
But
no
I
question.
could still click on my Facebook feed right now and see, the whole chair.
It's a great video. That's, come on.
They throw the hats in the air and you see the bat sign. They're showing like black folks starting to learn how to swim and shit. Oh yeah, I done seen some fucked up shit, man.
There is.
And I'm
So
just
I
like,
saw
are
the
you out of your
second view after like 2 days where they showed a camera onto the ferry boat or the steamboat, and it showed the guy jump off the steamboat and then like a whole bunch, and he swam, and I was like, oh, good for him with his skills. That's A+, 2023, everyone's allowed to swim, people. But listen, this is the problem. Is number one, why do you have a security guard who, let's be honest, too fat to be a security guard? Too fat, too short, too stupid.
Well, I mean, you're not really thinking you're gonna get into a fucking brawl on the docks when you're parking a fucking ferry boat.
Hey,
There
give the
was
guy some pepper spray.
Youngstown police officers that were bigger than that dude.
Right?
I'm not even bullshitting.
So, and that's why you're going, listen, if he's number one, if he's not a security guard, should have just walked away. As soon as somebody starts that much of a hassle, and this is I've always learned this the hard way, and how to teach people, where it's like, listen, if you're outnumbered and they say, oh, you know what, my bad, sorry guys, you make yourself safe, you call the police and say, hey, these fucking guys are causing shit. Call the police. That's it.
Well, see, that's
the
the thing. Like, these people, and this is why I say that them motherfuckers deserved it. My problem ain't with the fight. My problem is with the aftermath of it. But I mean, they gave these people, them folks in the boat were assholes. Them white folks were assholes.
Sure.
I mean, they yelled over the line. The captain of the boat said, "Can you please move your boat? We're in shipping lanes."
Oh, is that what happened?
Nothing.
Yeah.
They asked, like, there was like 5 warnings. And then the security guard came down because he didn't want the captain to call the cops on him. He went down there to ask them, look, you guys got to move. They had words with him. He tried to push them up. He only told them to move up like 3 or 4 foot.
Yeah.
And so they deserve to add like that whole scenario. Them fucking people in that boat was wrong. White, blue, brown, black, them people in that boat was fucking wrong. I will say that off rip. Just like I said, the aftermath of the whole shit, the whole, what people picked up from it. Yeah, I'm proud it was a fucking fight. I'm proud nobody got shot. Finally somebody was throwing hands. And again, I'm gonna say this again because I said it on the podcast. Black folks, y'all took the chair from the white folks. That's some kind of, appropriation or some shit like that. Rob Van Dam did it better. I'm just saying.
Well, hey. It's horrible. It's more like, but that's the thing is, what the security guy should have come is like, hey guys, listen, can you just move it like 4 or 5 feet, because otherwise they're gonna call marine security, and then you're gonna get a ticket, right? And they're like, no, fuck you. Okay, no problem. Call security. Don't worry. That's it. Hey, you ask once and then just go. Like, why that escalated into a fight in the first place is beyond me. Like, that's that guy of all things. Like, listen,
it didn't even seem like the dude he was talking to didn't even seem like they were getting even like heated in words or nothing.
No,
like
the other guy just came
from just out of nowhere.
The guy with no shirt, just like, oh, I gotta go, and you're like, okay, number one, fuck that guy. That guy just should get his ass kicked. And he did. Thankfully,
he was the guy who should have got the chair.
Oh, well, no, the lady should have got the chair too. Let's be honest. But at the same time, both should deserve a chair. And he actually, I was kind of hoping because he already had his shirt off that he'd do like one of those Ric Flairs, like you hit him and then he takes 3 steps and then falls like it's just, oh no, you know,
Man down. It'd be funny.
Mhm.
It was yeah, like it was one of those things where you're standing going, okay, obviously it's completely ridiculous, but you know, it's hilarious. And more than enough people needed to like, hey, you know, like somebody who says, well, I don't care. Good. Okay, call security. Call the Marine police or whatever it was I was gonna call them. They get a fine, you're done. That's it. No problem. Happy to oblige. Get fucked. Because that kind of shit, yeah, no, you can't live like that. If you're gonna live like that, sorry, you're just gonna have to find out and probably get a chair to the face. Yeah.
So I just got a news thing that popped up,
No.
and the headline is, the only person I'd share Barack with is Ellen.
I think Ellen's still on liquids. She's not on solids.
I gotta look this up.
It's almost it's
It's fucking great.
we live in like listen, it's for lack of a better word, it is completely just bread and circus at this point. Like you have just enough to survive because there's McDonald's in every corner, right?
Oh, our
And
economy
then-
is good. Joe Biden said, I just heard some dumb fuck from the Democrats, one of them senators, congressmen, whatever, fucking say that
Fine.
Joe Biden is a great president, that he brought the country back from disaster, and the economy is going great.
What? Like
I'm looking, but in the end, it was like, but I think it's time for Joe to step down.
oh yeah. So he's the greatest president we've ever had, but also he served his term. And you're going, number one, like who are you lying to? I just don't understand. Like at what
Like,
point?
and he said it with a straight face, dude. I mean, he had to have been pinching his cock or something to be able to fucking just spit that out with a straight face. Like,
Yeah, there's got to be something. It just doesn't make any sense, right? I don't understand how people could be so delusional because let's be honest, like
it's climate change making dementia kick in.
like can you imagine if like that's what we actually find out? We're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, so now he's actually got full dementia. Like within 6 months of him leaving office, he's going to be diagnosed with something like fucking horrendous. Right? Like he's Weekend at Bernie's as it is. Okay, like he's hi everyone, I'm a real person talking
I
to
think
you.
that shit is. I mean, he's old, but I think that shit is a big ploy because worst comes to worst. If everything backfires, which I highly doubt is going to, but if everything backfires and they find out all this shit and they got the evidence and they're ready to, you know, throw the book at him and his son and
Right.
fucking rip him, all he has to do, he had dementia.
Yeah,
That shit don't count. He was an elderly man. Nobody. It's the White House doctors who are at fault for letting it go past them.
Yeah.
So he's got total immunity because of his fucking mental illness.
Which that's not number one. Hey, just so people know, your mental illness is not an excuse to act like a piece of shit.
Here it is now.
Okay, it's just an FYI. Okay,
Your addiction. Now Hunter Biden is this poor man, and his father loved him so much and stood by his side through all these years. Bitch, do you know what? Did you see the laptop?
Oh, please. Have you seen the pictures, bro? Because we've all seen the pictures, and you're like, yo, that guy is a
And
dirty
those were the not so naughty ones.
Like that's the thing is like that guy is he's a dirty bird. Like that is a dirty bird. That is a dirty boy.
Dude, he went on the. I don't know if it was TMZ or CNN. He went riding around DC, and he was pointing out all the hotels that he was smoking crack in that he's not allowed back in on the camera. I don't really believe in that whole white privilege shit, but I do believe in money privilege. And if you ain't flaunting that shit in front of America right there, I mean, what? Marion Barry barely got away with that shit.
Yeah. Listen, it's
And he,
yeah.
I-
No, it's none of this makes any sense, right? But at the same time,
but
you're
nobody's
going,
seen that though, because that's all lies. When you ask, Joe Biden
oh,
screams at people in the press when they ask him, it's
I
all
don't-
lies.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything. Bidenomics works, and you're like, number one, that's a stupid name for it. Number two, it doesn't, and you're an idiot, right?
He's trying to jump on the whole Reagan thing when Reagan had Reaganomics.
Yeah. And that has proven to be one of the worst economic decisions that has ever
Not only
befallen
that, but
the United
Reagan was
States
a
economy.
fucking Republican, wasn't he?
Yeah. And a movie star. So, and as we know, both of those not good. Not just listen, that is the weird part is that now
Trump was a TV star.
listen, he's Trump. I honestly I listen, the worst part is, Marco, is that he was the best option. You're like, that's not a feather in anyone's hat. Like that's not, you're like, ha, we got, you're like, no, that's not.
We'll see. We
it-
got
that
some
means everyone
pretty
else
good
is
people
so
running
bad.
now. We got pretty good people running now, but
Yeah.
Trump's still fucking beating them by a landslide.
Well, look, and
Like
but
that
that's-
Vivek dude.
I don't know.
Have you seen him?
No.
Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever the fuck.
Oh yes,
He
yes,
got-
yes, yes, yes.
Look, that man got some ideas. I mean,
And he called out.
The-
He called out. He called out Saudi Arabia for their involvement in 9/11. How they're like, yeah, no. There's a whole bunch of shit that didn't make sense. And
yeah, he called out. I mean,
yeah.
he's been calling out Democrats and Republicans. He's calling out
Hey,
the indictments and shit.
Hearts and prayers. I'm sure he's going to commit suicide by 2 bullets to the back of the head soon. That's fine.
Maybe.
Right.
Him and Tim Scott. Tim Scott's not a bad looking guy. Like DeSantis screwed the pooch. As soon as he started fucking with the mouse's cheese, that was it. Now they're talking about, Disney is dismantling damn near everything. Like they're fucking they're trimming Marvel down. Now half the movies that Marvel was supposed to be putting out ain't gonna be put out no more.
Well, and also too, like they're starving for talent too, right? Like they had banked on a few people being like, "Oh, we're gonna do all these movies with this guy as the main character," and not anymore.
See, the Jonathan Majors thing goes back to Disney fucking backing Trump, because the same dude, the same prosecutor who's prosecuting Jonathan Majors, who they already caught the cops lying. The fucking chick just magically left the country.
Did she really? Oh,
yeah, dude. She never showed up for the first thing. She left the country.
As soon as she doesn't show up, it's done. It's gone.
Dude,
Sorry.
there's all kind of proof. No, Bragg keeps wanting to drag it on.
Yeah,
Alvin Bragg is the one who's fucking prosecuting him. He's the same one prosecuting Trump. And who now? Jonathan Majors was the new golden boy. He was supposed to carry the next 6 to 9 fucking Marvel movies.
Series.
Yeah. So with
His
Disney
face is
following
in,
Trump, that's their golden boy. How you get revenge on that?
The idea that companies can now hold weight over political backing is how bad things have gotten, because you're like, they have zero business dealing that shit, especially doing it privately. Doing it publicly, absolutely not. You fail,
dude. Disney's about to be Apple Land, right?
Yeah, they're selling.
They're talking about selling the whole shit to Apple.
Well, that's I was talking about this with my wife, was that we now live in a country that's littered with monopolies, because any restaurant you go to that's actually good, it's only a matter of time before it's scooped up into some other conglomerate. And you're going, so like I went to, for my birthday, check out my YouTube channel, do you know the Genetic Marvel? I have put up a video of some of the food that I had. It was delicious. But they had 4 rib, like pitmaster guys. There were no pitmasters. It was just young teenagers that were making barbecue. Okay. They're like, here's the recipe, go. You're going, now, I have no doubt in my mind that all four are owned by the same company, the same troop. They go around, they do Reb Fests all winter long, all over
no
the city.
doubt, no doubt.
And you're going, yeah. And you know what? Oh, it's very good. It's very tasty. I enjoyed myself. It was fantastic. However, why if you can afford to start buying up other companies, why aren't you, I don't know, paying a living wage to people, investing in other things? Like, there's none of this makes sense. People are, oh, we got to buy another company because we got to use our resources. You're like, or you could pay people. That's a thing. None of it makes any sense. And you're going, yeah, it's just greed, untethered and unrestrained, right? It's none of it makes any sense. So that's why everything is attached to something, and you're going, oh yeah, that and it results in, oh, there's like 7 companies who are in charge of everything, and then in charge of those is BlackRock and Vanguard, and you're like, oh great, that's that. Those aren't elected officials; they should have no say in anything. But yeah. Oh well, fun times.
Yep.
I have due to recent research and just I don't talk bad on BlackRock and Vanguard anymore. I don't talk bad on them no more at all. I keep them out of the loop.
Oh, they are run by an AI. So you're like, listen, that AI is gonna come get me. I welcome the battle. Bring it.
Yeah, then you got a T1000 knocking at your fucking front
Oh,
door.
Hello,
Dino.
I'm gonna set up cameras to make sure I get it on tape. I gotta set up. I got a ring camera. I gotta do that. Just.
Oh,
so
you'll get the liquid. You'll get the liquid one.
Oh God. With my luck, probably I'm gonna get my ass kicked. That's fine. I finally lose weight and get healthy, and it's like, man, now you're gonna get the shit kicked.
Now you got to fight a Terminator. That's the universe coming at you.
Yeah, that seems accurate. That's, if anything, that is my fate. You get thin and fit so you can run away from Terminator. Oh, by the way, he's super fast. You're fucked, fat boy. That's great.
All right. With that being said, it's getting about time for you to head out onto your show, and it's about time.
I got nothing.
Oh, you got nothing tonight?
No, I'm not. I'm laying low for now. So waiting for
about the Terminator.
Yeah. I'm setting up traps, okay? I'm like,
Home Alone traps.
Terminator 1, baby. I got this. I'm going into the fucking thing. I'll take him down. Squash him in one of them presses.
All right, ladies and gents. Well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you, Dino, for joining us. Thank you, Greg, for doing your thing back there. And stay healthy and stay away from Terminators, guys. Joan Rivers was right, or Joan Collins, Joan, whoever the fuck she was. Joan was right. We're out.